Jack-9 suited gonna be a mix. Here on the turn, on the 8 turn, I'm gonna play 2/3, I believe. My hand that does block Jack-8. I think it's I think we can bet this hand some frequency, to be honest. River, as I said earlier, I'm gonna play blocks in 2/3. I think my hand is okay to be blocking on the river, blocking the 9, which typically gonna be one of his strongest hands that he will arrive on the river. He can't value bet all the 9x combos on the flop, neither on the turn, and we have a pretty clear call. Hello guys, back to another Play and Explain video. Today we're gonna be playing 15L Zoom on PokerStars. But for the first time I wanna try a new format and play just one table with a player left. So I think it will be a cool one. We will have more time to discuss about hands and what's our range will be doing in some spots and our hand. It's early time in the morning and pool doesn't have many players. Also, 100L Zoom doesn't run, unfortunately. 200L Zoom is running, but because I have to pay taxes, I'm living in Greece and we have a bit bad taxes. If I hit 3 or 4 buy an upswing, I have to pay a lot of dollars to the Greek government, so I don't wanna try to play 200L Zoom. The pace will be slow. Let's hope there will be some interesting hands. Here for 5 suited, it's a low frequency open, around 25% of the time. We pure open the higher connectors, 9-8 suited and 9-10 suited, of course. Here, guy with Germany, broken stack, I assume a recreational player. So I'm gonna make 2 videos playing one table. And gonna wait for your comments to discuss if this format is great or not. And I believe I'm gonna make a hand review if we get some interesting spots to discuss. Either in some spot that I will be in, either some spot that I want to discuss a strategy with our range. Either way, a lot of recreationals in the pool. That's great. Pure defend as a call. My hand. It's high frequency half pot board for villain. Our raising will be pot. I don't believe I will find my hand ever with no backdoor straight draw, with no backdoor flush draw, excuse me. But I will turn some 6x into a bluff. In these positions, when there isn't a lot of potential straight draws, we start to use some bottom pairs in our check raising range because it does have great blockers and great unblockers. Here 6-4 pure continuing versus half pot. The 4 it's a very great card to be holding. He doesn't have many bluffs with the 4 in these positions. So river queen 9 completes and he bets pot. So when he bets half pot and pots the river, I believe that my hand pure max because I don't believe the 6 it's blocking any value now. If he had pocket 6s, he will probably want to bet larger on the turn. And I will have some hands with blockers to the straight because when he pots the river, he says that he has a straight or hands like pocket aces or something like that, which also pocket aces wants to bet larger. So in any case, he wants to bet river two pairs or straights with pot size bet. And also I believe that it's a kinda underbluffed sizing from regulars and also from recreationals, the pot size bet. Here we will VP the 5-8 suited versus recreational and reg. Not the greatest sport for our range. We will have some suited queen x low, queen x, and some 10x. Here I'm gonna bet for 2/3 I believe, and my hand will be a high frequency bet. We can check call and we do make hands like 9x to fold here. And also I don't mind very much the big blind range because it will be the more wider. And versus the raise, don't believe my hand can call. I will continue with the 10x with clubs out of position, but either as a raise, either as a call. But I do believe that this hand is not so strong enough to continue out of position. I have marked the big blind as weaker player. So I think I'm gonna VP King 9 suited even versus 2.5x. I think versus two recreational players I can call this hand. It's a very close spot to be honest. Start with checking range, obviously. It's a kinda okay board for our range because we do call a lot of pocket pairs in this spot. So our range it's more condensed in this board than the middle position. And we're gonna fold and see the action when big blind donks with 2/3. Okay, so we will take obviously a note. Random donks with big sizes give ups. big sizes with weak range, I should say. So here 6-7 suited, it's a high frequency 3-bet. Versus recreational, I don't mind calling this hand either. We do roll pretty passive, so it's gonna check call. It's gonna call. Here the button can play different type of strategies. He can even go with a small one, even with a half pot, either with a 2/3. I think my hand is mainly calling. We can check raise this hand low frequency, I believe. Blockers to 2% straights and backdoor flush draw. But we have a lot of hands to be choosing first. Diamonds will be the first ones. Excuse me. River, I'm gonna split with a small and a big size. And I think my hand wants to big size every single time. Here on the river, I will have a small bet with my best top pairs and some two pairs. And also I'm gonna contain some straight draws with 1/3 betting range here right table. If I have a hand like 9-6 suited, I think I want to bet smaller because he's mainly betting range on the flop and check on the turn gonna contain the 9. So when I have the 9, I block his calling range. So for example, this hand 6-7 wants to bet big because he doesn't bet big with a 7 on the flop. So I don't block his calling range. So 6-7 wants to bet large, 9-6 wants to bet small. Ten and off, it's a mix. Low frequency open from cutoff. You can argue having some overbets in this spot on the 7-8 9-5 turn because we do have a significantly 6x advantage. But on this 4-cut straight boards, I simplify to having two sizings, block and 2/3. You can even split to block overbet, block pot, block 2/3 and overbet. But in this river prop strategies, I mainly use two sizings, a big and a small and a big one. And for the most of the part, I play 26 and 132. Here on the 10-8-3, we can bet. We can even bet small with high frequency. We can even bet a large with low frequency. I prefer to bet small with high frequency. And ace-4 with a backdoor straight draw, gonna be one of my c-bet candidates on the flop. So villain goes with a 2/3 lead on the 4. And I think my hand is a pure continue. I do block 3-4 suited and pocket fours. And it's a very random line. River, I will have hands like Jack 9, 9-7 to be using as a bluff. Also, we do have some 5-6. I don't believe I want to turn this hand into a bluff. Random leads. for big sizings. And also I do believe that this player can even be recreational, so I'm gonna mark him as an unknown. I did play one hand with pocket fives that I didn't discuss here. Here I table monotone board in typical gonna be very high frequency checking boards. Here when he snap checks, I'm gonna bet my hand every single time. My hand doesn't need protection. I believe that my hand is really close between bet and check. I think if I had pocket sevens, I would bet. I think pocket sevens and pocket eights, it's for sure a value bet on the river because we do get value from pocket sixes, obviously. Pocket sixes when the three pairs on the river. I think it's a bit. I think it's a bit wide. And yeah, we didn't discuss the pocket fives hand. So yeah, on the flop we see bet range. We play versus a recreational player. You can make an argument and bet larger if you want. I typically don't make these wide deviations and bet one quarter range. He goes with a check raise. Typically, most of the recreational players under a check raise with bluffs and check raise more linearly. So, for example, he can check raise a hand like Queen 9 because he thinks I'm c betting range and he has the stronger hand. But poker, it's not how it works. And I think I like fast playing my hand every single time here with pocket fives versus recreational player because he's gonna have all the queen 9 and queen 10 offsuit that he thinks he's a strong hand. And he, for the most of the party, gonna stack off with with these hands. Recreational doesn't like to fold top pair. So yeah, I think it's a very cool spot to fast play your your value hands. Also, pocket five is gonna be our most hand that wants to fast play because unblocks the jack and the queen. If I had, for example, pocket queens, I want to slow play more often. Here, pocket kings, nothing to do other than jam. Ace king. So we do is here quick 3-bet. I assume most of the time gonna be a strong hand here. We can consider jam this hand with 2.5 and 12. But I'm gonna 3-bet this time. If you want a little bit larger, like 13.5, I'm gonna I would jam it more frequently. Here, ace jack 8 board, very great board for our 4-bet range. We do have all the ace king offs, all the pocket aces, all the pocket jacks. So very great board. I'm gonna start with 20% c bet. Then for me gonna be 1/3. And I think my hand it's a pure bet, blocking ace jack suited, and the king does block future bluffs, like king queen suited, king 10 suited. Jack on the river, it's not the greatest river, to be honest, but I don't believe he has to um, he has to call a lot of jack X on the turn, on the pre-flop. So I think it will be my bottom of my jamming range, ace king, I believe. He will have hands like ace queen suited and ace 10 suited that he will call. And as I said, I don't believe that this type of a weaker player, reg or recreational, I don't know. I have marked it as recreational, gonna 3-bet a hand like queen jack suited, jack 10 suited, and pure call the 3-bet. But I do believe that with a third, 1/3 bet behind ace king, gonna be jamming. Here we do face the 3-bet from this kinda of a regis player that spews. King queen off, it's a high frequency 4-bet in these positions. It's gonna fold, unfortunately. If you play these stakes and you do have had, it's very important to see if villain 3-bets a lot in blind versus blind spots. Jack 9 should gonna be a mix. So for example, he has to 3-bet around 16 to 18% of the time in blind versus blind spots. And if villain 3-bets around 12 or 10, this type of holdings, it's not so great, I believe. So we want to 4-bet less. I'm not so sure, to be honest, if I want to, if I don't want to 4-bet this combo. Let me think about it. Here on the turn, on the 8 turn, I'm gonna play 2/3, I believe. My hand that does block jack 8. I think it's I think we can bet this hand, some frequency, to be honest. River, as I said earlier, I'm gonna play blocks in 2/3. I think my hand is okay to be blocking on the river. Blocking the 9, which typically gonna be one of his strongest hands that he will arrive on the river. He can't value bet all the 9x combos on the flop, neither on the turn, and we have a pretty clear call. He had queen jack, okay. So yeah, when villain doesn't repeat that wide blind versus blind spot, so want to 4-bet more linearly. King queen does block some of his villain's best hands, so I think it's fine to 4-bet this hand. Yeah, take it back. I think king queen is fine. And this hand with jack 9, I think my hand is most of the time betting the turn, having the redraw to the nuts. But I rolled pretty low. I gonna bet this hand around 60% of the time, 66% of the time. And I did the roll very passive. So yeah, here with pocket fours and cutoff, verse 1/3, it's I believe it's a high frequency call from cutoff. Versus half pot, it's close, but recreational likes to bet half pot with his with their entire range. I'm not so sure if I want to continue my hand. From button, I'm for sure continuing. So we're gonna sit out next big blind and wrap up the video. I'm waiting about your thoughts on this new format. So yeah, on this Jack 9 spot, it's a very great for our range, very great board for our range. We do have more straights than him, more 8x than him, more 9x than him on the turn. So we want to be very aggressive, and also one quick heuristic: we want to bet more hands like Jack 9 and 9-10 and Ace 9, obviously, rather than Queen 9 and King 9, because Jack 9 and 9-10 has the redraw to the nuts, to very strong hands. So in this turning propping strategy, when there is a straight, we want to bet more often with the pairs with the straight rather than the strongest top pairs. So yeah, that was the video for today. Thank you for watching. See you next time.